Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about, no, we're not. Hey guys, in this video we're going to do a comparison between the Puckapuppy Alaskan and the Puckapuppy Rottweiler. These are the two newest trikes from Puckapuppy. Now they do have another trike called the Husky. We don't have that one. We can't really speak to that one too much, but we're definitely going to talk about these two and do some comparison to help you decide maybe which one you should purchase. So let's get into the video. Hey, we want to thank Puckapuppy for sending us these two trikes so that we could test them out, review them, talk about them a little bit, and make some great content. So we hope you enjoy this video. Make sure you smash the like button. So over here on my left, your right, we have the Alaskan. The Puckapuppy Alaskan is a folding style trike. It's a little larger than some of your smaller compact trikes that are on the market you might be familiar with. So just know that it is a little bit bigger than that. And also over here, the Rottweiler is even bigger still because it is just a lot longer. It's a little fatter, a little wider. So just be aware of that. Both trikes, however, are folding trikes. I'm not so sure that I would want to fold this one just because it's 105 pounds, so it's a little heavier. It's still got a lot of bulk to it, but hey, maybe it suits your needs. Let's jump over here. Some of the things that you'll notice right away that are a little bit different, and I'm going to talk about the seats. The seat on this one over here was actually replaced. This is not the seat that you get with the Alaskan. With the Alaskan, you get the typical saddle with backrest, but ours came in just a little bit damaged, and the backrest is so close to the saddle here that it just made it a little uncomfortable to try to ride because you're sitting up here on the front of the saddle on the horn. And so we decided, since it was damaged a little bit, we'd just swap it out. So just be aware of that. So this is our saddle, aftermarket saddle, and our aftermarket suspension seat post. You have 500 watt motor because typically those motors are a little bit smaller. And I will tell you over here on the Rottweiler, the motor is a little bit bigger, but it's still 960 watt peak. So I don't know the nominal size on the motors, unfortunately. Over here on the Alaskan, we do have a 13.5 amp hour battery. And on the Rottweiler, we have a 15 amp hour battery, and the battery is integrated right here into the frame. I like the style of having the battery integrated in the frame because it just gives you a little better weather protection. It's out of the way, you don't see it. It's a little harder to get to, you know, for a thief or something. I just personally like the looks and style of those integrated batteries. Whereas over here on the Alaskan, you have a more thin frame all the way down, so it's a little thinner design, a little lighter weight. Overall aesthetics, they both look nice. You would have to decide which one. Now when we talk about the Alaskan over here, we have, for the Powertrain, we have a motor that puts out a 960 watt peak. They don't tell you on their website, there's no documentation I can find to tell us if it is in fact a 500 watt motor that peaks at 960 watts or if it's a 750 watt motor that peaks at 960 watts. They don't tell you that. They just give you the peak wattage. So I can tell you from the size and what it looks like it could be a 500 watt motor because typically those motors are a little bit smaller. And I will tell you over here on the Rottweiler, the motor is a little bit bigger, but it's still 960 watt peak. So I don't know the nominal size on the motors, unfortunately. Over here on the Alaskan, we do have a 13.5 amp hour battery. And on the Rottweiler, we have a 15 amp hour battery, and the battery is integrated right here into the frame. I like the style of having the battery integrated in the frame because it just gives you a little better weather protection. It's out of the way, you don't see it. It's a little harder to get to, you know, for a thief or something. I just personally like the looks and style of those integrated batteries. Whereas over here on the Alaskan, you have a more thin frame all the way down, so it's a little thinner design, a little lighter weight. Overall aesthetics, they both look nice. You would have to decide which one you like the best. You'll notice on the rear of the trikes, we have two large baskets. They're the same on the Rottweiler as well as the Alaskan, and they come with those basket liners. The basket liners have 4 little pieces of Velcro on each side, and it simply folds over the basket, and the Velcro connects, and that's what holds the basket there. It's a small piece of Velcro, and so it does come loose fairly easily, but as long as you have something in there, you're going to be just fine, and it's going to keep your contents from falling out. All right, some other differences between these two is the sensor type. And we're not going to get into the types of sensors and how they are. We're just going to tell you this one has a cadence sensor and this one has a cadence and torque sensor where you can switch between the two. If you're not familiar with how they respond, make sure you watch our other video we released here a while back that tells you what the differences are between those sensors, because it does affect the type of riding experience that you're going to have. And yeah, you don't want to be disappointed with the purchase that you make. Some other differences you'll see from right away without it getting too close is the handlebars and how they look. Completely different style of handlebars here. And let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Alaskan. The Alaskan has really wide handlebars. I think of this as a wheelbarrow. You know, the wheelbarrow handles are kind of stretched out a little ways, and that's the way it is right here. It gives you pretty good control and stability of the trike when you're riding it, but just be aware that they're a little wider than most. The handlebars do not adjust up or down, and they don't rotate. However, right here where the handlebar connects to the stem, there's a little rotation there that you can do if you loosen up those screws, but that's all the adjustment that you can make. Over here on the left side, we have rubber handle grips with a bump out. You have a parking brake on the left side only. You have this style button pad that's not embossed, but you can see it. There's a power button, up and down button. There's your light. We'll go ahead and power it up because we want to talk about the display. The displays are also different on both of these trikes. This one takes a moment to power up. You see it says hello. The brake lever is pushed. We're going to release that to get rid of that error code. There we go. Now you can see the display. You got your miles, your trip. It tells you if you're in eco mode or what mode you're in. Right now we're in eco mode. We got pass level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your battery level is this funny little symbol right here. Moving over to the right side, you have a Shimano shifter. This is a 7-speed with a twisty throttle. They do give you these mirrors. However, the mirrors, yeah, they're a little loosey-goosey, so just be aware of that. And they give you a branded Pucka Puppy cell phone holder. Now this was the Alaskan. Let's jump over to the Rottweiler. Okay, over here on the Rottweiler, you'll see this is a completely different style handlebar. In fact, I haven't seen this before other than at the gym on some exercise bikes, so it makes it kind of unique and different. So you have handle grips right down here with a twisty throttle that you can grab and hold on to. But I guess if you're pedaling only, you could, like an exercise bike, kind of lean into it because they do have this cushioned all the way up around here. And you do have this extra bar here where you could put on some additional attachments, I suppose. Over here, like I said, we do have this rubber style handle grip. It does feel pretty good. There's no palm rest or anything, but it does feel good. You still have one parking brake on the left side. You have a different style button pad that is embossed, so it's easy to see the buttons. We're going to power up the display. You'll notice the display is completely different. Beautiful display. One of the best displays that I've seen here on the channel. Bright colors. Bright, you can easily see it. You have your battery level, you have your pass level here, and it does go up to 5. And over here you have your trip, you have your odometers and all that kind of stuff. Your speed right here in the middle. Over here on the right side, you still have a Shimano 7-speed shifter. However, this is an upgraded shifter, a little better quality than what they have over on the Alaskan. Now, a great feature that the Rottweiler has is it also has a reverse mode, and you control that by right here. D is for driving, your regular mode, or you can flip it over into reverse mode and hit the throttle and it's going to go in reverse for you. We got a horn right there in the bottom. Now on the front of the trikes, we'll talk about a few things here that are different. Over here on the Alaskan, you'll see that they have this dual lens LED headlight, and over here on the Rottweiler, they have a dual headlight. So you have this giant headlight right here, but then you have another small headlight right underneath. This really can light up the path when you're going somewhere in the dark. You'll also notice over here on the Rottweiler we have a basket, and over here on the Alaskan we don't have a basket, but there is a connection for one. Also, I want to point out right here, the front suspension on both bikes are not adjustable, and I wish that they were adjustable a little bit. However, I'll tell you, with the riding that we've been doing across some rough terrain, rough grass, the front suspension has been working just fine on both of them. It's been absorbing the bumps nicely, so we haven't really missed the fact that it's not adjustable, and it is performing well. Now, another key feature that we didn't discuss, let's zoom in over here. Specifically on the Rottweiler, you do have a full suspension. So back here on the back, they have 2 shocks integrated with the frame. And this does a nice job when you're going across rough terrain and how it absorbs the bumps back here on the back. So that is a really nice feature. Whereas over here on the Alaskan, it's just a rigid frame in the back, so you don't have any rear suspension. However, because both these bikes are fat tires, An option would be to lower the air pressure a little bit in the tires, and that also helps absorb some of the bumps if you're going across some rough terrain. So guys, that's just some of the differences between these two right here. You are going to see a price difference of about $1,000. So you're going to go out there and say, man, you know, the Rottweiler is $1,000 more. Is it really worth it? That's completely up to you and your budget. But considering, quick recap, full suspension, slightly bigger battery, possibly a bigger motor, but that peaks at the same power as this one over here, so we're not really sure. You get a better seat that is adjustable, you get a much better display, you get, you know, slightly upgraded components on the dash, you get a handlebar that is completely different. But hey, one other thing I didn't mention, this handlebar is adjustable, so you can actually raise and lower it, and it also folds. So when you're getting ready to tuck it away in your SUV, or if you want to fold it up, you have that capability. Whereas this one over here, the stem is not folding. So something I wanted to mention. But that is completely up to you, whether or not you know, you want to spend an extra $1,000 to get a bigger bike that performs a little bit better, has better components, or if you're satisfied with something just a little bit less. Guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you have questions, drop them down below in the comments section. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, because when you give us a thumbs up, it tells YouTube to spread the video to other people, and we really appreciate that on the channel, because that helps the channel to grow. That's going to be it for this one. You guys ride responsibly, ride safe.